I want you to listen to how Jen Psaki's been answering the questions. I think she is so good. She has been so good in answering questions. But in this particular question, whether Americans are staying home because of the enhanced unemployment, I think she blew it. And I love her. She is so smart. But we have a chain around our necks when it comes to describing anything that puts our capital, the people, the masters of capital, at some angst. And we have to get over it. And Jen Psaki and Senor Biden has to get over it. AOC doesn't have that problem. Bowden doesn't have that problem. Ilan Omar doesn't have that problem. We have to get over that. Check this out, and then we'll take it on the other side.
There seems to be a bit of a shift in tone here, because last month the president was pretty adamant that he did not believe that these enhanced unemployment benefits were playing a role or factoring into people's decisions not to get back into the jobs market. Today, though, he's underscoring that these benefits are simply temporary, set to expire in 90 days. So which is it, yes or no, does the president believe that these unemployment benefits are playing a role here?
Well, I think we shouldn't lose sight of some basic facts here, which is that those governors who have made the decision, as they have every right to do, to pull back on the unemployment benefits, or not accept them, I should say, accurately, that hasn't even taken effect in any state across the country. So in terms of how we're evaluating the impact, we haven't even seen the impact yet. That takes effect in June. It is important for people to understand factually that the president, no one from the administration has ever proposed making these permanent or doing it over the long term. And sometimes I think that was just an effort to make that clear in the public. So we understand there's politics at play here. That's okay. Every governor is going to make their own decision. At the end of the day, what we see as the biggest driving factor is vaccines and individuals being vaccinated, feeling safe to go back to workplaces, the fact that childcare centers have rehired, that teachers have gone back to work. Those are all positive signs. And at the end of the day, the president and this administration has created more jobs than any president, any administration in modern American history. So that's kind of how we see the jobs.
But based on the data, do you believe that these benefits are having any kind of impact in people deciding not to maybe re-enter the job force right now?
Well, again, I think that's a really difficult thing to analyze, given we have created a historic number of jobs in the last 4 months, more than any president in modern American history. So, and the jobs, the UI benefits haven't even been pulled back in any state. So it's a question I'm sure we can have a discussion about in the next couple of months as we see what the impact is on different states, or if that's a factor. But we think the biggest factors overall are more people getting vaccinated, more people being comfortable and feeling safe going out into the workforce, and that's where we feel there's going to be an encouraging upward trend.
I'm trying to understand what happened in the last month, though, because last month you said you didn't see any indication of that when looking through the data.
I don't think we can evaluate the data that hasn't been applied in states across the country yet. And what we're really talking about from state to state is governors making a decision to pull back on accepting unemployment benefits for 6 weeks or 8 weeks. That's it. It hasn't even started yet. So I would leave it to all of you and your outside analysts to decide whether that is a big factor in terms of economy and data, or whether that is a political discussion we're having.
Okay, I love Jen, folks, but she had 3 opportunities to do the right thing, and instead she was a sort of defensive that I don't normally see her in. And the only reason I can think of that she's defensive is that they are scared that the Republicans are going to come and use it as, you see, Democratic giveaways cause people to stay home and hurt unemployment. Instead, you have to lean in to the message, lean in to the reality. I would go out and say, look, we don't have all the data in yet, but if it is that these people are making more money with a living wage than slave labor, then then those employers need to raise their rates. That is what Jen Psaki should be saying. Jen Psaki could use this to bring the entire working class into the fold. In other words, look, that's the wrong question. The question shouldn't be if they're making too much money to stay home. The question should be, why aren't employers paying enough to bring them into the fold? Supply and demand. Remember, that's what capitalism teaches. But she sounded defensive. Governors, it is their right to do that. No, you don't go ahead and give the governors cover by saying it's their right to do that. What you say is those governors are evil for taking food out of the mouths of a lot of children whose parents can't work. The Republicans would have known how to do this right away. They would have told it right away. And Jen Psaki has been doing this. What's wrong, Jen? You could have used that particular question to really dig in on one. Republicans who use the tax cut and nobody asked them, hey, this is supposed to be paid for and trickle down to the average working class. Where is the working class's cut? No, but the reporters didn't ask that. But they're asking about the middle class or the people staying home because they're making what is effectively $15, as earlier Ali Velshi said. Yeah, if you are a waiter, if you're a bartender, if you're these particular jobs and you're at home getting $600 a week and you're working on your feet every day, I will take that vacation until September too. Americans need a break. So she should have gone out and be a pro-working class press secretary and show that El Señor Biden is really working class. And if you really want those people out there, bring them into the fold. Increase the wages. Your people don't want us to increase the minimum wage. So by us giving them relief, if you want them to work now, give them what is going to be a working wage. Who is there to defend the working class? And if we as progressives, if we as those of us that call ourselves Democrats or on the left or whatever, if we allowed the working class, all the working class, to see that we are really on their side, it's not those people that give you those false arguments. In other words, think about this. Most people in West Virginia right now are poor. Okay? Think about that governor saying, I am taking that. I don't think West Virginia is one of the states, though. I don't think that's one of the states. But think about this. Think about you're in Mississippi or you're in Alabama. And you go ahead and say, I'm taking this money away from you. And then you have another party saying, I am going to make sure that you are taken care of. I mean, we're not trying to turn you into a couch potato. But if people want you to work, they will do what's necessary to get you to work. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.